is up, Cowboys Nation? Boy, Mike Tag here. Sunday morning, you guys know the deal, man. We're going to be talking some Cowboys. Hopefully, you guys set your clocks right. I totally forgot about it, so lost an hour. I sure could have used it after last night. But good morning. Hopefully, you all are doing well. As you guys are rolling again, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, share. Let's just go around the horn, make sure all the guys are doing good. We'll start with you, Greg. How you doing this morning?
Good, man. Just a little tired from getting up an hour early, but I'm here.
I know. I don't like it. I don't like it. But Jeff, what you up to, man?
Good morning. Hey, if you're a morning person like me, this ain't nothing.
Don't matter.
I'm definitely not a morning person.
Well, it's funny because I got up this morning and I'm like, man, I slept late. And usually I get up early. I'm like, man, it's light out and everything. And then I realized that yeah, because the phone, I mean, we're old school guys. So usually you got to run around and reset all your clocks and do all that stuff. But, with the phones now, it's all automated. So I just looked at my phone and it's like, yeah, it's 7:30. Everything's good. No problem.
It does it for you. What are we talking about? As soon as you roll over, it's right there.
That's what messes me up. It doesn't give me it doesn't let me know, oh, yeah, I screwed up. So, but hey, hopefully you guys are doing well. Oops, I forgot to put the chat thing in there. So I apologize. Put that on there as we get rolling in. So definitely appreciate everyone rolling in as we get going. But obviously, let's just get kind of the vibes going. So we're going to go through some free agent stuff. Obviously, the Maxx Crosby news. He goes to the Ravens. Actually, probably a good fit for the Ravens. And they give up 2 ones. You could go back and forth with, should we be giving up 2? Is it worth it? Is it this? Is it that? There's a lot of what I call the Monday morning quarterback, where you're living in the land of everyone, this guy's going to help our team. We screwed up. That, of course, he can help your team, but you can't have everything, right? So it's got to be strategic. So let me start with you, Jeff, because I know you chimed in a little bit on the show when we were talking about it before it happened. But what's your thoughts on Maxx Crosby? Obviously, good player, 2 ones. Would you have been willing to give up that capital and take on that salary to get him here?
Nah. I think, given what you guys were talking about the other night, it was win now, like win this year. I'm more of a, hey, can we win this year? Can we win next year? And then potentially that third year, because it's going to take a lot for us to have our defense go from 30th to top 15, which is probably going to need to be in order for us to contend for a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And you're just going to lose so much draft capital and cap if you do that, if you go that route. So for me, I was glad he went someplace else. I feel bad for Joe Burrow because he's going to have a long season again. He ain't going to make it through all 17 games. Every time he turns around, he's going to have a defensive end from hell chasing him. So, hey, I wouldn't be surprised for him to say, trade me. I'm done.
Yeah. I mean, now he's got Watt. He's got Crosby. He's got Garrett. I mean, that they are loaded with the ends.
That's what, 3 of the top 5 rush ends.
Yeah. I'll tell you,
easy.
Crosby was interesting because I did want him. I most definitely want him. But giving up 2 ones, knowing that our one that we gave up to the Jets for next year, which means we'd have to give up these 2 ones, and we don't have a 2nd or 3rd round pick. I'm like, no, that wasn't worth it, because then we'll have to rely very heavily on free agency and hope there's some diamonds to be made in the 4th round. And I'm thinking, it would have been like the playbook we've done in the past. Go big with one big player now and then lose out early. So we were close, but the Ravens giving up those 2 first-round picks, that was huge. And they can afford it because they don't need to cover as many spots as we do. So Max, I would have been glad to see him with the Cowboys, but there's no way. Now, if it come down, because Jerry was going to give up a first round and the 2nd round. Second round maybe next year.
Yeah.
The 20th pick, yes. But I don't see the Raiders would have took that anyway, especially when the Ravens jumped in with 2 first round. That just sealed the deal right there.
Yeah, and I think if you get to a point, it's like I was, just kind of going back and forth on Twitter, just having some good debate with great Cowboy fans, is then you just keep Parsons. Why did you try? You should have just kept him if that's your thought, because basically that's what you would have ended up doing, is swapping that. And you look at Parsons, you traded Parsons for basically Quinnen Williams, for Kenny Clark, and whatever pick we get at 20. So you should have 3 starters that you're getting, one a all-pro, one a solid defensive tackle, and the other one's going to be a rookie. So you don't know how they're going to pan out. But the Cowboys need more than one. And the other thing I would always tell the fans is, because now they're like, oh, this is the same doom and gloom. Let free agency play out. Let the draft play out, and let's see what the roster looks like, when it's all said and done. Because at the end of the day, to Jeff's point, if anyone's expecting like this defense to go from last to like top 5, I mean, I hope it does, but it's just not very likely. We're all like, okay, if we can get this defense to mid-tier with the offense that we have, we'll be dangerous. And then the hope is the defense continuity and with the defensive coordinator. Because you guys, I mean, you all know, man, when you get a new defensive coordinator, it ain't flip a switch and it's going to be just like that. There's going to be a process that they're going to have to go through. So the hope is by the end of the season, maybe they're ranked, top half of the league, but they're playing better than that because they've got the continuity going, and now they're kind of hitting on all cylinders. So I think it was a smart move by the Cowboys. So I don't really have much issue with it. Any final comments on the Crosby thing before we run to our next one?
I'm good.
No.
Brandon Aubrey.
The thing is,
go ahead.
Well, hold on before you.
Yeah.
So, is there a distinct fall off between Crosby and, say, Trey Hendrickson?
Yes.
I don't know if it's a huge fall off. I think Crosby, on paper is better, but I don't think it's enough.
Last year when Hendrickson was hurt.
Yeah.
Is the fall off significant?
I think it's significant enough. It's significant enough that Crosby is in the situation he's in where people want him that much. Crosby, I'll put it this way, not drastically, Jeff, but enough to where Crosby is an energizer bunny and his game is fleet. And Hendricks is a recharging battery, but one of the top recharging batteries.
But so is it a 2 first-round draft pick difference?
Well, for the Ravens, it is. For the Ravens, because the Ravens want now. And the Ravens, here's what it is. You go out to buy a car. You really want that car, but you know it ain't worth.
Is that me
coming out your pocket and saying, shit, he's going to get that car for this. I'm going to pay. I'm going to break the bank to get him. So if you go out and want that car so bad that you pay over what you know you should, but you're happy you got that car, that's what Crosby is to the Ravens. I don't know if any other team would have took that deal. Any other team would have gave up 2 first rounds, but the Ravens wanted him so bad. And
but that's the Ravens.
Yeah,
I'm talking about that scar on your chest. That's not for me.
No, not.
It's not 2 first round difference for us.
No, and I don't think
you can get one for free.
Yeah, but I think Jerry. You know what? I think Jerry knew that, but Jerry said, "Look, let's just throw it out there anyway. If they take it, oh man, we got the deal of the century. But if we don't throw it out there, we'll never know." And I think they sat there and said, "There's no way in hell he's going to take. The Raiders going to take that deal." But they had to try.
Yeah, and I think I would say too, like Henderson. I mean, last year, he was hurt, and I think injuries could be the problem. With him a little bit. He's a little older than Crosby, but I mean, don't forget he had back-to-back like 18 sack seasons. I mean, he's still a force, and he could definitely be there. And the Cowboys can kind of do a creative deal, 3-year deal, just kind of load it a certain way to kind of help him, because that's ultimately what they're going to have to do in free agency. They got to be selectively aggressive. I hate to use that word because I think they used that last year, so I probably should find a new word. But they need to go attack and be very strategic in what they do. This isn't monopoly money. They can't go out and just start spending like crazy because you've committed to the offense. It's money on offense, depth and dogs on defense. That's kind of got to be the mindset of the Cowboys. And you got to strike with rookie deals and hit home runs. Like I did my mock draft. So if you guys go back, if you hadn't seen it, I posted it. I did it through PFF. Give me your opinions, but I'll say the first 2 picks I got was Downs and Terrell. So I got a safety and a cornerback on rookie deals, both of them solid. You know, one of them potentially could be an all-pro type guy. You got him for 5 years on a rookie deal. That's how you are able to manipulate the cap a little bit. Look at what the Eagles, they signed Jordan Davis to this monster deal. Do you think they're going to be able to sign the other one?
I don't know. Howard Rosen is aggressive now. He's an out the box thinker. So you never know. He might be able to.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's only so much, and you got AJ. That's the thing. You've got to be very strategic, and they drafted well, so that helped Philly because you got those 2 on a rookie deal, and what'd you get out of it? You got a Super Bowl. So job well done. It paid off in the end. But the reality, long term, you're just not able to sustain and keep a high price guy at every position on your team. It's just.
But Mike, you got to consider the fact. You got to consider the fact that they're shopping AJ Brown, and they're shopping AJ Brown for almost not exactly for almost a deal like Crosby. And I don't know that they get one, but they're shopping them like that. So paying Jordan that money, shopping AJ Brown may give them back the clout and the revenue they need.
Yeah, I'm not like I mean, what do you think, Jeff? I mean, I don't think AJ Brown, and you guys saw my son got the AJ Brown jersey in Vegas. I don't know how the hell that happened. I said, God works in mysterious ways to really just aggravate the hell out of me. But that being said, I don't know.
I don't think that's what God does, but I don't think that's what the good book says.
But I don't know if AJ Brown is going to demand that kind of. I know what they're asking, but I don't really see AJ Brown demanding that. And I was talking to a couple Philly fans over the weekend, and they don't think he's going anywhere. And it's odd. I don't know if it's true, but the most, and I don't want to call hated, but the most disliked, whatever player in the NFL voted by the players was Jalen Hurts. So I don't know. I don't know if it's a Hurts thing.
But that's
I don't
just
know.
hate.
I don't want to use the word hate. That's why I wouldn't use the word hate. But he's definitely a different cat. Like he's not
a polarizing figure. Yes,
like Russell Wilson. Maybe he's like a Russell Wilson. You know, off the field and in the locker room, he's kind of polarizing. He's like, hey, you guys over there, I'm over here. This is my bubble.
Yeah.
Well, so they don't fit a stereotype, and that's why people don't like him.
That's true. That's true. I know where you're coming from. That's true.
I don't like the only thing with him. I loved him in college, and I thought he showed a lot of class in the way everything went down in Alabama because he could have really, caused a problem in that championship game. And then after he transfers over to Oklahoma, he was under some really good coaches. Obviously, Saban, his dad was a coach, so he's grown up in football. The dude Riley, right, was in Oklahoma at Oklahoma with him. And he goes to Philly. And I liked him coming out of college. I was kind of, he was one of the guys I was like, man, that would be a good pick for the Dallas Cowboys. Just kind of have a guy behind Dak and let him, see what happens, at least get a quality backup. But he's just so emotional. I don't know, man. It's just, he's different. He's different. He just, I don't know. It's just, but I don't know how someone could dislike him. He seems like a very likable guy and does good things in the community. If he stays to himself, he stays to himself.
Yeah. He's just not that rah in your face type player. I mean, he's mature. He's what they call that. I forgot what we call it when somebody's real young and your parents used to say you got old folks vision or something. But he's just got that wisdom. He's been through a lot with Alabama, Oklahoma, his family. He's got that wisdom. He's older in mind and thought and calmness and reasonable and maturity than most of the players around him that are young his age. So, and they just don't like that. They can't. They're still in a different aura or era. So he's just not that. He's above them in that type of aspect. But I don't think he pushes this. I don't think he's arrogant.
No,
I just think he's not approachable like that.
Sometimes that can be perceived as arrogant.
Exactly.
Yeah, I remember like people who know me and don't know me. So when I'm the type of like when you meet, I'm very quiet. I don't you know, I know people think, what are you talking about? But if you bring me to a party with people that I don't know, I'll sit in the corner of the room. I'm like that kind of person. And so when I was younger, not younger, but in my 20s, and I was working a little bit, like friends and friends of friends used to think, oh, and to this day, there are some people that say that even now, because I'm the same way. They say, God, he's an a-hole. He thinks he's cocky. He's too good to talk to us, or because that. But it's just my personality. Now, once I get to know you and I'm comfortable, then my true personality comes out. And I mean, that's the way, you know, Hurts could be, or other people could be. And you just don't know until you know, really get to know that person. I know we got off subject.
Yeah, but last thing on that too, you know, when you got humble confidence, when you have confidence in yourself, a lot of people take that as arrogance, because they want to see you. They want to see you not having a confidence in yourself, walking around maybe like they are or how they expect you to be. When you got confidence in yourself, a lot of times people mistake that for being conceited and arrogant, and it's not. I have confidence in myself. And over the years, yes, people have said the same thing. And I'm like, no, that's not it. If you know me, I'll give you the shirt off my back. I'm very approachable. But when you see me, because I'm confident about who I am, and there's nothing I can do about who I am, how I look, so I'm just confident about myself in life. A lot of people don't like that.
Yeah, Sammy. So
are you approachable? I don't know about
you. Who, me?
Yeah,
me.
You
come on.
I'm just hey, Mike turn his head. I don't know about this.
It's crazy because people will sit there and think that I'm not. And the amount of people that have come to me, whether in public or at work, who have been so scared to have a conversation with me, when my door is always open, specifically, right?
Yeah.
I'm walking around. I'm the person walking around. Look, I'm high-fiving people. I'm like, hey, how you doing? How was your weekend? I'm the one who's loud about being a Cowboys fan because I know it's such a galvanizing thing for my team to all team up against me. But it brings positive vibes in the workplace. I'm good with that. That's who I am. So for people to feel like standoffish or worried about me, again, that's maybe because of my size. I don't know.
No, I get. Yeah, no, it's funny how it works, but
it's a lot to intimidate people.
Let's
hold on. I like this one.
Oh, I will do that. I absolutely will. If they get Mesador or Bain, Keontae Scott, if they could get one of my dogs on defense for Miami, I absolutely would be busting through the door and break out the beer bong. I would be doing everything. So I would be very happy. I would be very happy if the Cowboys do that. And you're seeing it. And we talked about it, not to get step backwards, but you know, you some of these draft, like it's like people get overly, you know, into the arms of the 40 time. It's like I did my draft video again. I'll hype it up. You guys go check it out. And guys like, well, you got Caleb Downs as 40 times. They didn't run in the combine, so I'm gonna take that with a grain of salt. And I said, I just put that on there to give you the measurables. I could care less, like, because I seen them play. Like, I don't need 40 times of how they're running in shorts and t-shirt, because I will tell you, Michael Irvin's 40 time wasn't very good, but I saw him run past people. Jerry Rice. I saw Jerry Rice run past people. Emmitt Smith. I saw him go 80 yards. They said he was too slow in his 40 time. So there is track speed and there's football speed. It's just like Deion Sanders. I'm as fast as I need to be, you know, That's so right. It is different. So I don't get caught up in all of these measurables, man. I just, you know, so
there's two measurables. The two measurables are the most important in any pro sport, especially football. It's this one, and this one. This is what they bring to the game within themselves to elevate themselves above any 40 times, any jumping, any of that, because you cannot measure a heart and you cannot measure that desire and that mind for that person to exceed. And a lot of players prove that. A lot of them in the Hall of Fame too.
No, absolutely. So I would love to get some Miami guys on this team. I always say it, man. We were winning when we had them Canes. I mean, you even look at Michael Jackson, not the Michael Jackson, but the Michael Jackson from Miami, the cornerback that we drafted. He's starting in the NFL. I mean, he
looks good at the Panthers, boy. He's at the Panthers now, right?
I think it's the Panthers now. Yeah.
He looked good during the playoff game. So
yeah. But he's solid. He's solid. So the other thing I want to get to, and then we'll get into some just kind of talk with you guys on free agent, but definitely want to get your opinion. The whole Brandon Aubrey situation and where we're at today. So now the Cowboys put a second round tender on him. If someone signs him, they can match the offer. If not, that team has to give up a second round pick, which I think is pretty good for a kicker. I would take that all day long. But the tender offer is like just under $6 million. They offered him, so they say, the highest paid, which would put him around $7 million. Yeah. So maybe they're working it out. News outlets said he wanted $10 million. I don't know if that's his agent speaking. I don't know if that's all. I doubt that's Aubrey. But the whole Brandon Aubrey situation and with the kicker, what is your limit? Would you be upset if the Cowboys lose him for a second round? If someone did offer him $8 million, $9 million, more than what the Cowboys would want to pay? Where are you guys in the chat? And where are you guys, with you two? How you feel about it? I'll start with you, Jeff.
I'm not going much higher than $6 million. The tender is what, 5.76? I'm not going much higher than $6 million. Not for a kicker. I like him. I think he's fantastic. I think he's been a great professional for us. I think we've kind of gotten a little bit overboard with the amount of confidence we have in him because our play calling on third down, hey, it's okay. We'll just kick a 63-yarder. I don't necessarily like that. But to me, I'm not $6 million, maybe just a little bit above. But that's it. It's a kicker. I can get another kicker who's going to give me just about as many points as he's going to give me. Now, I may have to call third downs a little bit differently, but that's okay. We should be doing that anyway. I can't. When he's making more money than running backs, when he's making more money than a lot of the vets that we're going to bring in free agency, that's a lot of money for a kicker. I can't do it. $6 million, right about that.
Yeah.
If it gets to 7 or higher, that's to me, that's bad.
Well, I don't want to lose Aubrey.
And I would just say this, Greg, let me add color, and then I just want you to, because in his defense, 3 years, three-time Pro Bowler, All-Pro. His first year, he was at 94.7%. It's dropped down to 85% the next 2 years. So, a lot of us think he makes every kick. He does miss some. Now, we put him out there to try and do some long kicks, and this year he was from 50 plus. He was 11 for 17. He was perfect inside that. And the year before, he was 14 of 17 from 50 yards. The year before that, he was 10 of 10. So he's gotten a little bit worse in the 50-yard plus range.
Yeah, but he's had a few more kicks too. And when you put the few more kicks on there, it kind of makes the ratio balance out with the second year a little bit, and distance that he had to kick this year, considering where they were. But I don't want to get rid of Aubrey. I think it's smart because I'm going to go on the road and say it. You might have to push the button. They are being very aggressive and very smart so far, and they're falling in course because that was a smart move to put him and I forgot the other one. They put him on the second round tender. And I just hope, even though Jerry thinks he secured Aubrey by doing that,
he said
I'm not quite sure that there's not a team out there that wouldn't take a chance and do it. Now, they said they offered him the highest paid kicker. Well, Green Bay, it's either Green Bay or the Patriots, just paid $8 million to their kicker. And now I don't know if he might be. I don't know if he's the kickoff or the field goal kicker. But now that may set a different precedent. So Aubrey wouldn't be the highest paid kicker. But Aubrey really wants to stay in Dallas. So I'm hoping. No team out there gets exotic and say, you know what, guys, we got this many picks in the second round. Let's give up one of them and go get Aubrey and make them match it. So I hope nobody does it because I'd like to keep Aubrey because that's a solid kick. But
I wouldn't match it. I want that second round draft pick.
Yeah, I would match it long as it's not, astronomical. But I want to keep Aubrey. But if he ends up going, there's nothing we can do anyway. He's gone. The decision is made. And I'll just have to lament that, like I did with a couple other players that left, that I ain't buying jerseys for no more, because you don't know how long they're going to be with them now because of Jerry. But I would like to keep them. And that was smart. That's another smart move they did by putting a second round tender on him. They'd have done a third round tender, he would have been out of there.
And I mean, is a team really going to give up a second rounder for?
He done some crazy things in the draft, Mike. People done some crazy
I told you
things.
the Raiders are still out there.
They done some crazy things in the draft.
Yeah.
How many picks do they have in the second round? You know, some teams, what if they got 2 or 3 picks in the second round?
Harrison Butker, highest paid kicker at $6.4 million per year. So, if we go 6.5, fine.
Yeah, I think if nobody takes him, we're good. We're good. And he wants to be with Dallas anyway. He'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, there are some advantages you always have to look at, but with taxes and all this stuff you get from where you're at, so they got to consider that a little bit. But Rams for Aubrey. I mean, like I said, if someone wants to give up a second rounder, and I would take it in a heartbeat, because a second rounder gets you Rodriguez, could get you Keontae Scott. I mean, that could get you another guy on defense that could really, really help this team out. So that's where I would be with it. So we'll see what happens. I personally, my opinion is they'll end up working it out. He'll be a Cowboy. They'll work some deal out, and it'll give him a fair contract, and he'll, cooler heads prevail, even though they're not hot, but at least cooler heads prevail. So that'll get going. But free agency is starting tomorrow. It's the first official tampering. I don't understand why they just don't start it tomorrow, but it's like legal tampering starts tomorrow, but officially you can't sign them to Wednesday or whatever it is. So looking at what the needs are and what the Cowboys, have in their war chest, what do you think the Cowboys, what is your expectations Monday? Are you expecting to hear news, and who would you like to hear?
It's a loaded question. Are I expecting, or do I want?
What are you expecting?
I'm expecting it to be quiet.
Quiet. Okay.
I'm expecting it to be quiet because, and this is me, this is my self-defense mechanism. I don't want to get my hopes up so much because of what I've seen so far and say, oh man, we keep doing everything the right way so far. I know we're going to come out with a bang and solidify either our linebackers or cornerbacks or safeties or something of that nature, right? Because things are going so well. We're quietly moving, and we're doing a lot of the right business that I think most Cowboy fans agree with. I'm waiting for the shoe to drop. So I would love for them to go out there and surprise me and get a corner that we're like, ooh, I'm glad we made a play for that. I didn't even know. Or a linebacker. But I don't see it. Unfortunately. So I think it's going to be quiet.
Yeah, I think it'll be quiet because they're already talking. Legal negotiations or not, the NFL is kind of loose on that when you get down the last 3 or 4 days, well, really the last week. But they're really already talking to agents. And I think they have in mind maybe 5 people that they want to go after in that, to decide who they want to pick from in those 5. And I think it'd be quiet Monday because they're already in negotiations and talking. I think by the end of the week, we will know something from Dallas on at least one player on the defense, And I wouldn't put it past Dallas that Trey Hendrickson is on our list, not at the top, but somewhere down the list a little bit in case everything else falls through, because I don't think, and I could be wrong, I don't think a whole bunch of teams are going to say, ooh, they just blew the whistle. Go get Trey. No, I think a lot of people are going to be looking around first before they decide to get him. So it'll be quiet.
Especially because all the games he missed last year.
Yeah. Yep. It'll be quiet because they're already talking. So there's no need to make any announcement Monday. It'll be official. Some people will be biting their nails waiting for it, but it won't happen until like later into the week, and then we'll start hearing something.
Yeah. No, I think it's you're gonna hear stuff early. I think you're gonna hear it Monday. And the 2 names that I think Ultra said one of them, Jalen Thompson from Arizona. He's been linked there, the safety. And I think the Cowboys are going to make a run at Nakobe Dean. Philadelphia makes sense. Defensive coordinator from Philly. Get some familiarity. So you got him, and then you get Thompson, who's the secondary coach, is coming from Arizona. There's some familiarity there. The Cowboys, look like they're moving on from pretty much all their safeties. Maybe Malik Hooker stays. I don't know. But it looks like the others are kind of like Wanye Thomas. They didn't put any tender on him. So it seems like they're going to go in a lot of different directions in the secondary. And I think linebacker. I think it would really surprise me if they don't, because Jerry has been the only time he's been talking, it's been vocal about we need to be aggressive. We've got to get free agents. We've got to step it up. We've got to do this win now thing. So I think they're almost pushing themselves in a corner where they got to do something early, because they know the fan base and the media is just going to start snowballing it on them. So I think those are two names that you might hear early for the Cowboys to go after. Any thoughts on that, Jeff? Neither one of those guys.
Well, I mean, Jalen Thompson, let me ask you, is he strong or free safety? And for us, is he going to play strong or free safety? Because I like him, but here's my problem. I can pretty much guarantee with what happens with the Cowboys, we would draft him, and then Caleb Downs will be sitting there at 12.
And you're going to get Downs.
I mean, of course, that's the type of stuff that would happen for us. Not for us, to us. So I do want us to be intentional and specific about who we go after in free agency, because that will give us the flexibility during the draft. So if you're going to go get that safety, that's fine. But then, I mean, Jalen Thompson's going to want, $10 million a year, I'd imagine?
I mean, I don't know the numbers, but it may be around there, probably less. I mean, he just finished up with a 3-year, $36 million contract. He's 28 years old, so he's getting at that point. I mean, you remember the dude from the Broncos that was signed that big deal, and then he's kind of disappeared into nothing. So safeties, again, is a very undervalued position. So I don't think. I just think that they'll be able to get him on a reasonable deal. But to me, you always connect the dots, and the dots of usually in free agency, let's find some guys that the coaching staff is familiar with, especially with everything that we've got going. You got guys from Green Bay. So I know Walker was a name I think thrown out there. There was a few other ones. So yeah. So
they want me to be optimistic.
You got to be optimistic.
They don't want me to be realistic. They want me to be optimistic. Okay. So if I'm being optimistic, we pick up Jalen Thompson. We also signed Nakobe Dean, but we've signed him just because we're signing him early doesn't mean we sign him for a lot of money.
No, exactly.
It's a win-win because he's familiar with the coaching staff. He had a lot of injuries last year, so we get him at a good number. He's going to help our linebackers transition, help our defense transition to what the new coaching staff wants. So we get him early. We go get the safety early, and then I'm good.
Yeah.
If we get Kobe Bryant, that would be magnificent. That would be magnificent if we can get Kobe Bryant. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Cowboys aren't already talking to him, or Jaquan Brisker. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised they're already talking to him. But Caleb Downs, and I know you're probably going to get to it later, Caleb Downs, we will be lucky, extremely lucky, if he falls to us, because Ohio State, it's going to be a run on Ohio State. I'm telling you, it's going to be a run by the time they get to us. And if he falls to us, to me, it'd be like that Zeke situation. Oh, Zeke fell to us. Oh, damn. But I don't see it. I don't see it. And you were talking about Keontae Scott.
Yeah.
Dallas would really want to have to value a safety bad enough to take him at 20. Otherwise,
no, I'm saying if you got Aubrey in the second round, like if you lost Aubrey and got a second rounder, Keontae Scott's a second round guy.
If he's available to us in the second round.
Yeah, he's got to be there. But I'm saying you have an opportunity. Rodriguez is a linebacker from Texas Tech that I know Kelly loves, and I think he's just a football player. So you get that. That's where I say you need some of them playmaking guys. We don't have enough playmaking guys that just always have it. Keontae Scott is the same way for Miami. He could play cornerback. He could play safety. He could play live. I mean, he's a Swiss Army knife. And you heard Christian Parker, and he's looking at versatility. We want guys, and they're running 3-4. So you look at Overshown, and they may do a little 4-3. So he needs guys that he can plug and play, and got guys that can play multiple positions and just kind of be all over the place. Keontae Scott, to me, fills that role. If they don't get a second rounder, they're not going to get him. I mean, you're not going to get him you're not going to do a first round pick on him. I understand that. The Cowboys could trade down. So looking at the draft, and you're seeing this, if the run goes to where Downs is gone, Bain is gone, all the guys, let's say all of what you'd want on defense, the cornerback from LSU is gone. You trade down, would you continue to trade down?
So I don't think that's going to happen. I think Washington and Cincinnati are going to dictate what's available to us at 12 because they have a lot of the same defensive needs that we have. As great as Ohio State players look during the combine, now things get quiet. And so all that elation, all those accolades start to die down a little. And then people get back to business and get a little bit more realistic. Well, just because this person was great doesn't mean I had a need for him in the first place. So I actually think that if Sonny Styles goes to Washington, she may, or Cincinnati, I think that means a Bain or a Caleb Downs is sitting there for us at 12. Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah. Listen, let me go back to something real quick before I get back on that. Rodriguez is a pure example of what we talked about earlier about their measurables that everybody talk about so much. His measurables weren't even valuable in the combine at all. But like they talk about him as this and this. He's that lunch bucket player. So he's unique. And I know he can bring it. And Keontae would definitely fit that scheme for Parker. The only thing is, being at 25 years old, a lot of teams look at a safety 25 years old and they don't value him that much early in the second round. And I don't understand why, but he's unique. But coming back up to talking about this draft, and I did my own little mock.
What do we got? Yeah, Ultra thinks you need to be the GM for the Browns. I don't know if
if I was GM for the Browns, we'll be winning some games because the first one I do is I'll find a way to get rid of Watson and get some of that money back. But anyway, 12th. If none of these guys fall to, and the only one I think will fall to us would be Caleb Downs. And I say they have to be a magnificent move because Washington, Cincinnati, and the Giants, and any other team above that, they got needs. But BPA, you never underestimate BPA, best player available. One of those teams may take Arvell Reese, or Sonny Styles, or Caleb Downs out of BPA. They may not necessarily say, we need this, but look, we can't pass up this player. So one of the people I'm looking at, if none of those guys are available for us, is Delaney Mansour. He's one hell of a cornerback that we could use. We could use him. And I think he'll fall. There's a chance he may fall one pick before us. But if he doesn't, he'll be available to us, which will be another great pick. And then the next ones will be the ones like second tier players that you pick. And we just have to see where their heart and mind is when it comes to playing, because sometimes you get that diamond in the rough and you don't even realize it. Yeah. But Sonny Styles, the Arvell Reese, the Caleb Downs, whether they're picked up because of needs or BPA, I don't see them falling.
Yeah. Can I say one thing real quick?
Here. Let's
go ahead, get that in.
Let's give them the floor. So what do you think of this scenario? Sign Fitzpatrick, get Dillon, the safety from Oregon, move, I'm assuming he's saying is maybe either trading down or move back, get an extra pick and get Rodriguez. So you basically you're shoring up your safeties and with two guys, right, with Dillon and Minka, and then you're drafting Rodriguez. That sounds good. That sounds good too. What's your guys' thoughts on Fitzpatrick? I would just say
it'd be a good free agency pick.
Go ahead, Greg.
It'll be a good free agency pick. That's experience. A good free agency pick. And like I said years ago, when they put that star on their helmet, sometimes in that new venue, sometimes it brings out the best of them again. It's like that recharge to the recharge. So I wouldn't be against it. And to me, it'll show that they're still being smart, slowly by slowly, methodical and aggressive. So that wouldn't be a bad move at all.
Yeah. And then, Wally's talking about unless Bane falls, he thinks they're going secondary in the draft with the first two. That's what it ended up in my mock draft. I'll give another plug if you guys didn't go see it. I did post it. I broke it down quickly. So it's only like a 15-minute. I chopped everything up to make it easy for you. Get your thoughts on that. But I did go safety, cornerback in the first round and tightened up that secondary right away with the hopes of free agency filling some of the other voids. But what were you going to say, Jeff, before?
Yeah, so first, Fitzpatrick's not a free agent.
But I think he's on the block, right? I think
I think he's on the block.
We don't have draft capital to go trade for anything.
Maybe it's either next year. I mean, he's not going to demand any kind of decent capital on him. He's older now, so
yeah, he
right. Okay,
or is he could they release him? Are they going to release him? I don't know.
So that maybe, but and I see a lot of people saying Sonny Styles going to the Giants. Maybe.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe. But the only thing I would say about this is they just signed their franchise quarterback last year.
Yeah.
They need to protect him at all costs. Yes. I don't see how they pass up getting a tackle because that offensive line has been a problem with them for the better part of the past 5 years.
You got the Miami kids sitting there.
As great as Sonny Styles may be and as much as they want him, how do you not protect your franchise quarterback and get him the offensive tackle that he needs?
Yeah, because he got knocked around, and they got Abdul Carter last year. And I'm not saying that Sonny Styles would be great there, but if you're playing with whoever their backup was, I don't know if it was the Paisan or who's on that team anymore.
No,
after Dart, you got Winston, who probably wouldn't be there. But yeah, so you better have that quarterback upright. So
yeah, but the Giants don't impress me when it comes to decision making because of that GM. That GM, I think he's a loser.
Let his kid do the picks. The kid
I think the Giants might go and get Carnell Tate as a wide receiver, and on their pick. That's why I have them picking in the draft. And then the other person at 12 for us, if everybody's going, is C.J. Allen. C.J. Allen would be a nice pickup.
I would like C.J. Allen.
He might be a quiet move that a lot of people aren't paying attention to get him, because the number one players I want at 12, and like I said, this is just a dream list, are the players we've already mentioned, the Baines, the Mezzadors, the Sonny Styles and all them. So, but my realistic players are like C.J. Daniels and Mansour. Those are the ones that I'm thinking that could really possibly fall to us at 12. And either one of those would be great. So that'd be a good move. We can get one in.
What do you think? Ultra's been pounding pounding the table for this to happen. I know in a lot of shows. So let's just address it. Nick Herbig from Pittsburgh trying to make some trades. He was one of those guys, could be available. Maybe not. Pittsburgh's got a new regime, new thus. Maybe they look to unload a few players. How would you feel about him, especially as they're going to like a 3-4 base, but still there could be 4 down linemen. I mean, he's kind of does that Vic Fangio, kind of mixes things up. What do you think about him from Pittsburgh?
So for me, yeah, Pittsburgh linebacker, yep, sign me up.
Yeah,
like they have a long track record of having successful linebackers all throughout, and that have the ability to play usually at least 2, if not all 3 of the positions. So if I'm gonna have to take a linebacker from someplace that has the pedigree that I know they've been taught the right way to play, no issues with it. No issues at all.
Yeah. And I think young. Yeah. I think the top 3, not in names, but the top 3 positions that the Cowboys are going to be looking at 12. I just think the first is going to be edge. I think if the edge is out there, they're going to go edge first, cornerback second, linebacker third, and then safety. I just think they're going to get a safety in not the second, but later rounds, unless they move down. Yeah, unless they move down. And that's
that 20. That's the reason why it's so important for us to do what we need to do in free agency.
Yeah.
If we can get a couple pieces in free agency, then we use the 12th pick on who we need. That 20th pick, man, I'm looking for someone to come up so I can get some more draft capital.
Yes.
Because I don't have that. I don't have as many needs. That's why the free agency is so important this year. We don't have a second and third. So how do I fill up all the needs that I have, especially on the defensive side? I'm not even talking about the offensive side. Strictly defense. If you get a linebacker and you get a safety, all right, well, great. Now I can be intentional about my 12th pick. Who do I want? Who am I keying in? Am I keying in on Bain? And if he's there, I take him. Great. And then at 20, everything else is a luxury. If one of those corners falls to us at 20, I take it. If it's not there, I'm trading out. Give me a second and third for it. I'm good. But that's why the free agency is so important this year.
Yeah. And I mean, Ultra is saying this. I don't really maybe disagree on McCoy, the cornerback, but Mesidor, if he's talking about the same Mesidor, I don't know if he's talking about the same Mesidor that I'm talking about, which from Miami. I don't see a red shirt year at Mesidor. One, he's 25 years old. He's a dominant. You could argue he was more dominant than Bain in some in a lot of those games.
There were some games.
There's no red shirt there for me. I mean, do you think he's a guy that's a red shirt year? You don't think he could start in this league right away?
Yeah, yes, he can. He could start ASAP. And I saw several games with Miami, and I was like, they talking about Bain a lot, but damn, Mesidor, he's lighting it up, so, and Bain with the name popularity and the family and the history and all of that, I can understand it, but Mesidor was right there. And that's, and speaking of that, of the free agency, we said it last week, it is cataclysmic that they go in free agency as aggressive as Jerry has said it in all caps and bold letters. Aggressive, because they know what we do in free agency. Number one, we get that experienced playmakers in free agency to fill those big gaps. And now you're right, we have the luxury of those picks to supplement what we need. And we already have this experience. Because if we fail in free agency, those picks aren't going to make up for it.
Oh no, you gotta hit free agency.
So that's why they're going to go so aggressive in free agency, and I like it so far because they are. If they stick to that and we come out of free agency winning, we can sit back at the draft and say, man, 12th is a sure pick. 20, yeah, we can move down now to second, even third round, and we can get some playmakers. So it just depends on how well they do this. And by the end of the week, I think we're going to hear something of the Cowboys making some good free agency picks. They'll be right on course with bringing me home. They'll be bringing me home if they stay on course.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Say he's all bought in. What do you think about that, Jeff? He's excited.
I love it. I hope we don't overthink things, especially when it comes to the draft. Like, and I hate to say this, but if you have a player that has a little bit of a checkered history that comes up and he's available, don't overthink that.
Yeah.
Like I'm really thinking about like Jalen Carter and the stuff that happened with him. And I feel like teams overthought that. I could go even further back. Randy Moss, all the teams that overthought that.
Warren Sapp.
If they are that type of talent, man, go get them.
And they came in Dallas and lit us up.
No, I agree. I mean, and I don't think there's too many of those like in this draft. But they're kids. I mean,
no, yeah, they're kids.
You could do knucklehead stuff. We all did that. But this isn't the draft. I guess my question would be, and I think obviously Love is going to be the first running back, and they're saying like Kansas City or something like that. If you end up getting one of these offensive guys that are falling, maybe Tate, they didn't like his 40 time for whatever reason. You get what you get. Alignments, whatever it is, the tight end, whatever the case may be, one of these guys end up falling on offense. Are you going to take? Is it like you can't pass them up?
Look, if you take Tate, if he's there, you have to make a decision between Tate and Pickens.
Yeah,
you already signed him unless they don't have the long.
I wouldn't do it.
Right. So for me, I'm trading out of that pick. if it's all nothing but an offensive
Like if
player
all your
there,
guys are gone, but then you see this stud offensive guy, you're gonna just try and trade out.
I gotta trade out of it.
Yeah. And for wide receiver, of course I trade. I wouldn't even have him on my books. Now, somebody, because I listen, even if everybody's gone, there's still Keldrick Falk from Auburn, an edge. He's still out there. So we're gonna get somebody at 12. And it might be that second tier, and when I say second tier, I don't mean like way down second tier, just right up under the Sonny Styles, Arvell Reese type guys. We're going to get somebody at 12 that's going to be there. And if Keldrick happens to be the one at 12 because Mansour and all those guys above him are gone, I'm happy with that 12th pick. I'm happy with it. But I will be elated by the time the draft gets here based on what happens in free agency. That's going to set me up for really wanting to be excited about watching the draft, because I'm never really, really excited about watching the draft. To me, it's just to me, it's kind of boring. It's long, drawn out. And then when Dallas picks come, I say, okay, who? So in free agency, if we chalk, I mean, we line up the classroom in free agency, then the draft for me is just going to be like, man, we are there, because somebody at 12 is going to be available. Even if it's somebody that's not even being named in the first round, but at the top 5 of the second round that may be taken in the first round.
Well, and you got to look. It's like we're not in the scouting room. We're not in the draft room. We don't know who they like and what they like. What PFF and ESPN and Mel Kiper and all these other yahoos. I mean, that's their opinion. You don't know what the Cowboys, and you don't know what really Christian Parker. I think if you look at Shoddy, I think they're going to lean on Christian Parker to try and really get his insight on what he wants. You know, what he wants as a for his defense. So I got someone at my door.
Yeah, your dog don't sound too happy.
Dogs are all upset. So I'll let you guys roll. I'll mute it real quick. So
Shoddy's going to be at Rodriguez Pro Day. He's already made the appointment. As busy as he is, Shoddy's going to be at Rodriguez Pro Day for Texas Tech. So that doesn't mean he's going to sign him. That means that he's interested in looking at him as one of those players that could be like what's my boy named Lee, like a Sean Lee. You know, a lot of people didn't put a lot of emphasis on Sean Lee, but Sean Lee held it down, and he was prolific for us. So
until his body gave out, until his body
but he
absolutely,
but he held it down for us. So Shoddy's gonna be at that pro day. He might be somebody looking at, and he might be somebody they pick at 20 if they have to stick with 20 and everybody else is gone. So there's a few players out there that a lot of people aren't really talking about. I say C.J. Allen, Keldrick Falk, Rodriguez. I can easily see one of them going, getting a pick at 20 if we do a great thing in free agency.
Yep. So what about Banks? Like if he's a Banks
from Florida?
Yeah. So if he's there and given the defensive line talent that we have now, all the other players, linebackers, Caleb Downs gone, Sonny Styles gone, Arvell Reese, all of them are gone. Cornerback that we want is gone. And we're sitting at 12. Do you take him, even though I think it may be a little bit earlier than we should? You try to trade back a couple picks to see if you can still pick him up, or do you just not take him at all because he's not really a need?
Well, I think, the scheme they run, if they feel like, in a 3-4, he's there. He's 6'6", 330. He's a big dude. I don't like Florida, so I'm always biased. So I always have bias.
You liked Emmett. You liked Emmett.
I did like Emmett, but okay. what I would say is I'm one of these guys that if you could, they all talk, all these GM. Mm-hmm. So if they could trade back and gather an extra pick, especially try and get back in the third round or so, whatever they could do, I would definitely try and do that if you feel. But if you like him and you want your guy, whether it's him or anyone else, man, I'm just one of those,
let's go get him,
man. I mean, they gave us shit about Frederick, right? Didn't they say he was a third round, this grade? I mean, yeah, he had the health issue later on, but I mean, he was perennial all-pro and one of the best centers that we had. It's the same thing they talked about with Booker last year. Oh, well, you should have got this. I mean, he looks like he's going to be the real deal. So don't overthink it, and just, if you love a guy and he's your guy and you do the good things in free agency where you have that ability to do best player available and get my guy, then go get your guy. I wouldn't have a problem with it.
Yeah, I got David Bailey going to the Bengals at 10 as an edge.
Before that.
But if he doesn't go, that's another one we could get at edge. David Bailey.
I'm not sure if he gets past Arizona.
Yeah, I think he's going warily. I think he jumped Bain. I know they were going back and forth, but I think he'll end up going first over Bain, and I think Bain will be the second, edge rusher taken. I just want to say this, and I don't know if I'm allowed to show this, but like these cartridges for ink, this is what the dogs were barking at. So, and it's off subject, but just give me a minute to rant for a minute. I buy this printer and we run out of ink, and I'm trying to print stuff. And so then my wife goes to get ink on eBay, or not eBay, Amazon. So she gets this one, and it kind of said HP, but it was kind of like the bootleg, which I was fine with. But now these printers recognize it's bootleg, and I've spent 3 days trying to fix this. So then I go to Walmart yesterday with my daughter, and I've got it. Sometimes I'm a little dyslexic, and I buy $9.32 instead of $9.23, $110 for ink. I cannot believe they're doing that. And then so that doesn't work. So now I go back to HP. So I have spent 110, 50 at 60. I've spent over $200 just to get some damn ink so I can print some stuff. And it's been a 4-day process. I mean, what a ripoff this shit is.
Man, I'm sorry. Get that printer. I think it's Epson. I have to go look at mine. The one that Shaq advertised a couple years ago, where you got the tube, the bottles, and you fill it up. I haven't had to change ink.
Hey.
Yeah, you got the same one?
I
haven't had to change ink in 2 years, and I still got ink. Because I had an Epson. I had a Canon before that, and man, I was buying those cartridges from Office Depot, and I was like, man, it's a mortgage. Can't be buying this ink like this.
Crazy. It's crazy.
And the bootleggers, you're right. The bootleggers, they sell them cheaper, but then they got the printers now to say, take it back to the projects.
I've been on, I've spent hours on YouTube trying to figure out how to get around it. And I haven't been able to, they give me the steps, but I hadn't been able to work. But anyway, hey, before we get back into it, again, just thank everyone. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. We got 400 of you guys hanging out here, man. Definitely appreciate the love always on a Sunday morning. But the best thing you can do to support the channel, just hit that thumbs up, man. That's all you got to do. Doesn't cost you anything. And if you hadn't subscribed to the cave, hit that subscribe. It's like I said, my one video where I was doing we're going through the draft is, if you're a Cowboys fan, this is a show for you. This is just Cowboy fans shooting shit, having a good time. We got a great group that's in the Cowboys Cave family, and even outside who come in and hang out. If you don't like the Cowboys, this is a show for you too, because you guys spend more time talking about the Cowboys and learning about the Cowboys. So this is your spot too, because you're going to be able to talk to a bunch of fans and be a troll and whatever else. So it's a win-win when you're with the Cowboys Cave. So make sure you hit that thumbs up and definitely appreciate the love. So getting back at it, we could go through the draft so much and go crazy, but really I want to look at the bigger picture. And how do you see the NFC? How do you see the Cowboys? What will it take you guys? Because I see some negativity. I'm saying, the Cowboys are, here we go. We're not going to do nothing. We can't win or whatever. Looking at the landscape of this league, coaching moves, and we'll see, you're kind of guessing free agency and draft. How far away are the Cowboys? What do they need to do to make you feel a lot better? Obviously, they made some coaching moves, but we need players too. So where are you at in the bar today? And if things happen your way, where do you see the Cowboys in the NFC? Let's just stick at the NFC, being a true competitor for a playoff run and chance to get to the Super Bowl.
I would say, and I mean this, I'm not just throwing it out there. I say this season is ours to take. because I think with Philly, there's some decisions being made, especially with the A.J. Brown situation, some other type of situations. Parker's gone and some other stuff going on with Philly. I just don't see Philly rebounding and taking the NFC title. What's on my radar are the Giants, because what the Giants do in this draft and the new coach they got and free agency, based on how well they look like they could be last year, I wouldn't be surprised if the Giants come out the gate playing far better than they did last year, and the game between the Giants and us this season coming up are the games to watch. So I just don't see Philly taking the title again. I think this season is ours to take the NFC East, but I would not discount the Giants coming out the gates totally different than last season. Healthy, of course, their players coming back, new coach, and the pick that they're going to make in the draft and this free agency. I can see them being a contender, but I just don't see Philly taking it.
Yeah, I think we're 2 years away, honestly. If I look, I'm not concerned with Philly, so to speak. I feel like they're in kind of a self-destruct mode. They're just going to find ways to just tear themselves apart. I do worry about the Giants. They got the right coach. If they do the right thing in the draft and free agency, they're going to be a problem. I worry that Chicago, even though they got rid of DJ Moore, I think they're going to be another year better. And I think they're just going to take confidence from this year and grow, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Green Bay is always going to be a problem. I'm not necessarily concerned about Minnesota. I don't know if Detroit's got enough to hold it all together with the losses of their coaches from 2 years ago. Carolina's just going to get better. Tampa, we'll see. Not really worried about them. Seattle's going to be a problem. The Rams look to be. Yeah, they look like they're ready. That trade for Duffy, that kind of surprised me. They're like they weren't that far away, and it looks like they're stocking up. So I think we can't. It's us for our defense to go from 32 to top 10 is too much to have in 1 year. So for me, I'm looking at it in incremental steps. Go from 32 to top half of the draft or top half of the league, and then take that significant step, that championship step, the following year.
Yeah. No, I think it, you watch the Patriots and you obviously watch Seattle and see how quick they can turn it around. I think it really, it's all going to come down to the defense. I mean, we talked about it. I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I mean, our defense gave up over 30 points. I believe it was 7 or 8 times last year. Our offense scored over 30 points, and they had a 60% winning percentage, in games where they scored over 30 when the league average is 88 to 90%. So our defense is a major problem, and it's putting a lot of pressure on Christian Parker. He's 34 years old. This is his first defensive coordinator job. So, but he has great, great experience working with phenomenal defensive coordinators in Denver and obviously in Philadelphia. So they put a staff together. It's just how quickly can that happen? The offense is Super Bowl ready. There's no doubt about it. The defense is where it's at. So I'm not, I'm kind of like middle of the road now, but if they make their moves on defense and free agency and they get some guys in the draft that are impact starters, it's got to be starters in the first round, I would feel pretty good. The schedule's better than it was last year. Last year was a pretty tough schedule. So I think they'd have an opportunity to get in the dance. And I mean, you guys know, man, you just got to get in there. I mean, you got to get in there, and then you just hope you go hot. It's, and I talk about the Hurricanes, but there was an argument. Oh, well, are they going to make the playoffs? They aren't going to make the playoffs, and then they end up just going on a run of going to A&M, beating, Ole Miss, beating Ohio State. And then, obviously everything that happened with Indiana, you could go on a run. and you can go on a run and get hot at the right time. So I'm like this right now, but if they make moves in free agency, that's probably more where I'd feel better. Not the draft, free agency, because that's where you can get this thing if you want to go now. If you use Jeff, maybe 2 years, now you're looking at, they don't do much in free agency. They get the draft going. But if they can, I'd feel pretty good about
but how many players can you get draft and like that are going to be starters between free agency and draft that are going to take our defense from 32nd to top 10?
I don't think top 10.
No.
But defense wins championships. I'm pretty sure if you look at the last, I don't know how many Super Bowl champions, most of them are in top 10. Their defense was in the top 10.
But it's like I said, Jeff, it's not. Don't get caught up in the ranking. I'll use an example years ago. Tony Dungy with the Colts. That defense was not very good. Like statistically, it was not good. If you look at statistics, but Dungy's getting there and he's getting things on. And by the end of the year, that defense was they were humming.
Right.
And they went in and they just annihilated people.
Take the statistics out of it then. We all saw the same defense last year.
Yeah.
I think, but if you get
how many players do you keep?
But
last year's defense. That's what I'm saying. How many? So let me ask it this way.
Well, let's go through the starters, and then Greg, let's just go through the D line, and I mean they do rotation, so it's not going to be perfect. But do you keep Osa? Do you keep Kenny Clark, and you're going to keep Quinn Williams, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
Because listen,
go ahead.
There's a whole lot in the mix this year that wasn't in the mix last year. Eberflus and his non-schemes and his ineffective defense philosophy, no matter what. We got a whole branch of young, vibrant, eager, successful coaches now. So that alone and the culture they're going to build when they bring in the free agents and the draft picks and the players that we do keep is going to change their entire psyche and their ability to step up and play. I think all that's going to make a difference. And we don't have to be 15. If we're 19, 18, 17th ranked defense, look at what our worst defense did. And we got, and how the games we lost, we scored 38, they scored 39. That it wasn't like when we scored 30 something, they scored 60. We were still, even though we were ranked so low, our offense scored a lot. And yes, they may have scored 5, 10 points more than us. We can be number 19, 17. We could be number 20 ranked defense. That'll be a vast improvement.
But we're not talking about improvement. We're talking about Super Bowl.
No,
if we talk about So that's what I'm saying. I think we don't need a whole bunch of people to be vastly improved.
No, I'm looking at.
But we need a whole bunch of players on defense side for me to win a Super Bowl.
Well,
so
it's secondary. It's secondary, and to me, it's secondary and linebacker. I think, believe it or not, I mean, our defensive line is going to be fine. I think it's going to be fine. I think they'll end up, picking up. Probably re-signing Clowney. You got Easy E. You're going to have a couple other guys there that you're going to have. So I think the defensive line is going to be fine. Our defensive
but then you need 7 players.
But we can listen.
But then you need 3 linebackers. You need 2 corners.
You don't need 3 linebackers because you got Overshown and you got Overshown. So you probably need 2 linebackers. That's why I did 2 linebackers. Your cornerback, you got Bland. You're going to need 2 more. So you got to get 1 in free agency and 1 in the draft. Your safeties.
Which Bland? The Bland from 2 years ago, or the Bland that was in push-up position against the Detroit Lions?
Bland will be fully healthy this year.
He's gonna have to be good. Not great. It just has to be good.
But Bland will be fully healthy this year. And listen, you could say 6 players, 7 players. We're gonna get them. Not just the draft or free agency. You still have training camp. You still got people's practice squads. You still got players moving back and forth that we can still get to plug those holes. It's not the end all, the catch all with the draft and the free agency. When we get to training camp and people start moving, that's when you get those nickel and dime players from somewhere else you ain't paying a lot for. That's gonna fill those gaps. We're gonna be far better this year on defense, just look at the coaching style first and the schemes they're going to put him in. The players we get in free agency is going to be the nucleus. Everything around it else is
I
going to be
love it.
And
I love it.
But I'm telling you, that's not end of it at the draft. It's not the end. The players that we do keep in the secondary, they're going to not be all confused and discombobulated with this new coaching staff, and they're going to be better. And when they get better, those players that on these other teams that are probably somebody, hey, this guy from the Rams moved over to Dallas doing training camp, blah, blah, blah. That's where you're going to see some movements and getting some players doing training camp that are going to fill those extra holes out there on defense. I love it. I love it. I say this year, I'm not speaking Super Bowl. I never speak Super Bowl. I say this year, we can take our division. After that, like you said, once you're in it, anything can happen. You don't know what's going to happen. But we can take our division for sure this year based on the coaching staff, free agency, draft, and those supplemental players that nobody's talking about, thinking our last pick players are going to be after the draft. Nobody's talking about training camp when players move from team to team then, and you don't pay a whole lot to get them, and they turn out to be the supplement you need in the defensive backfield. That's what's going to get us there.
Yeah. No, I mean, like I said, the defense, it's going to be critical that they got to address the defense. And I think you could see, like I said, coaching impacts this sport more than anything else, more than baseball, basketball, hockey. You know, man, I don't know nothing about hockey, so I don't want to say hockey, but whatever. But you guys get the drift. I mean, it does. Coaching is just, it's so critical in this sport. And that's why you see teams flip the script. You see Vrabel go to New England, and they went from 4 wins to, they go to the Super Bowl. You saw what McDonald's done in Seattle. You can do it. So they've got a young coaching staff. That's what I like. I mean, if you want optimism, this is the optimism. Is they went against the norm of Jerry. They went in and Shoddy and this defensive coach, they put this staff together. So that's where you got to kind of have hope. Now, the only other hope you have is that they got to do something in free agency. To Jeff's point, they've got to redo their linebacker core.
Yes.
They've got to redo their secondary. You basically have Revel, who, was coming off an injury. I'm going to give him some grace and give him another year. And you got Bland, who Bland is not, he ain't Surtain. I mean, he ain't, let's be clear about that. But he can be a serviceable, good, solid cornerback with help. If you don't have pass rush, and if you ain't getting things going, you can have Deion Sanders back there, as great as he is, the greatest I've ever seen. You can only do so much if you're not generating any kind of pass rush. So it is at every level of this defense. If you can't stop the run, you might as well forget about it. So if your linebackers don't, aren't having gap, integrity and staying focused and understanding their assignment, not playing hero ball, if you get that, you're going to be okay. But they got to change the mindset. To me, defense is about attitude. You got your scheme, but Ray Lewis, to me, one of the best linebackers I've ever seen. His measurables ain't off the charts, but that dude just is relentless, and he refused to get beat. I mean, he had that mentality. We don't have that on this team. We just don't have those guys.
Who's our defensive captain?
I don't know who is it.
Me?
I don't know.
Me?
Marcus kind of like, but I mean, he's
what they say. Remember the Titans. Attitude reflects leadership.
Yeah,
you don't have any leaders in there in the defense. That's why we saw last year.
I agree.
They need to get that.
We're going to get it this year because it's a lot of times you can have leaders on the team that's discombobulated and the leader just sits back out of frustration. Now with this new coaching staff, those leaders are going to be present. You got Stewart, underrated. A lot of people don't talk about him. We still got Stewart out there on defense. And Bland will come back to his form this season with this new coaching staff on that defense. Bland will be the Bland that we had 2 seasons ago. Watch and see. And with Stewart coming up and playing his game and this new coaching staff, I'm just more confident in this coaching staff on defense that's going to make the difference for
100%.
Those players that we have that weren't jack nothing last year. I have a lot of confidence in that coach. If it was the same coaching staff on defense, I don't care what players we get. I think Eberflus will still plug the same peg in the round hole that should have been in a square hole. But with this coaching staff, these guys, I'm telling you, these guys are poster picture people getting ready to put this defense together. And this defense mindset and everything is just going to be re-energized. You watch and see. Watch and see.
Look at, I love it. You know, he's feeling good about it. Kayla Carson. I was good with. I think I don't know. I think his time might be up here. I mean, it's just not getting it done. I think they need a overhaul in the secondary and an overhaul in the linebackers. And and like I said, I think Tank Lawrence. He got heat for it, and him and Parsons got in the sideline spat and this and that. But I mean, I think Tank Lawrence might have been onto something when he talked about some of the guys that were on this defense. And we have got to change the mindset. I mean, they have got to change. And if they don't, like I said, it doesn't matter what you get in there. But I think Christian Parker impressed me. I think a lot of the position coaches that they brought in, Dixon, and he impressed me as well. And you're watching these interviews with these guys, and I think they're going to get it together. And like I said, things can flip quickly. There's talent. I mean, they do have. I want to say they're depleted of talent on defense. They do have some guys. They just need more dogs. You know what I'm saying? So,
and in training camp, some of those guys will be weeded out, and some of them won't even make it to training camp. After the draft, someone won't make it to training camp, and they'll be weeded out. But do not forget that players will still be added during training camp. And that's when you're going to hear we got him from who? Don't be mistaken, because that's when you're going to get him on the cheap.
You talking about the Rolando McClains.
Huh?
Talking about like those Rolando McClains. We used to sign him late.
Yeah, I don't want any of that stuff, man. I don't know. I need guys that they can count on. And like I said, it doesn't have to be the big high price guys. It has to be guys that buy into the system, fit what Parker wants to do in the scheme they want to run. And that's really it. But anyway, we could go all day, and free agency the tampering is tomorrow. So it should be a busy day. We have our predictions. I predicted the Cowboys will get something done. You're going to hear news before Wednesday when it's official. The Cowboys will be signing someone first day official free agency. I think they signed two guys. I think they get a linebacker and a safety. Jeff, Wednesday, do they have anybody? Do they have anybody signed first day of free agency when it's official?
They'll have one person signed.
One person signed. Yep. Any prediction of who, or just one person?
Nakobe Dean.
Nakobe Dean? Okay.
I think it's going to be Nakobe.
All right. Greg?
If you get Nakobe Dean signed, oh my goodness, that's a great start. I think by the end of the week, I'm not going to say Wednesday. Yeah, and I know it probably will be between Monday and Wednesday, because you don't want to have players sitting out there too long and other people trying to negotiate and grab them. But I think by the end of the week, we got two. We got two that we can say, we got two on defense. On defense, we got.
Hey, if that prediction is correct, I'm gonna tell you what. Hey, that's all you'll hear from me, Dean and Thompson. Yeah. If that was first thing on Wednesday,
that's what I think that's what they're going to end up doing. So it'll be good. It'll be good. But I definitely, hey guys, appreciate all the love to the Cowboys Cave. Appreciate the haters. Appreciate the Dak haters, and I am not going to get into Dak's personal business. I know a lot of people are loving that on social media. What a man does in his personal life with his family is none of my business. I got my own things to worry about, man. I ain't worried about other people. I got my own house to take care of. So wish you guys the very best on your Sunday. Make sure you turn your clocks forward. We get that now. We get that light out a little bit better. I feel now I can do my walks and I can get back in the groove, and I don't worry about nighttime. But it's going to be a great Sunday. You guys enjoy it. Might be live. I think we're going to be live on Monday. I just going to have to make sure I cut it close, because my son, I'll leave you with this. You guys know my son is the basketball league. There's been dissension, Jeff and Greg, dissension among the ranks. So just like what kids do, they got this basketball team. Some people got playing time, some didn't. Some were ball hogs, some weren't. So they have now lost their two of their three top players have decided to form their own team. So they went on their own. So now we have a depleted team. So now we have 2 teams. So now what we do is we create some rivalry. Now we're going to have some heated games. That's what I like to see. I want to see some heated games. So I'm enjoying that, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So their first game is Monday. I think they played 8:30, so I should.
So what you mean? Hey, you mean you're going to have the longest yard?
Yes.
How they played out there?
Hey, they need to call them the Mutineers.
Yeah. No, it's going to be fun. And the bad part is, like, you know, Mikey, my son, and my nephew, they're on the one side, right? And then Mikey's best friend is on the other side, who Mikey got him on the team. He got him on the team, and the 2 others. It's friendly. They're all okay. I mean, no one's gonna fight over it. But I we did that a lot in sports where when we're playing softball or whatever, we kind of split up, or flag football. Some people, they didn't like to play types. So then it really makes those games more intense. So I'm excited. Might bring out the camera when they play, record some, so in case we get any pushing and shoving just for fun. So we'll see what happens. But yeah.
Well, Jeff, you keep that buzzer working and get it ready. Because now, it's going to be a long time before you might be able to push it. But we get through training camp and things stayed aggressive, smart, quiet, and right. I want you to push that button, baby. There
all day. All day.
Harry will at least got me on the couch. At least on the couch.
Well, we'll see. So hopefully Monday, as you guys are working, you're getting some news, getting some things going. But you guys have a great Sunday. Jeff and Greg, thank you as always. Appreciate the love to everyone else. Hit that like button on your way out. Thank you so much. We had over 2,000 people in and out hanging with us. So Sundays are always a fun day, and appreciate all the support. You guys take care of yourself. And my man, Little Dallas, you might need to find a hobby. You're a little addicted to that chat. And hey, I mean, you got to find another hobby to do if that's what you're going to live your life through. But anyway, you guys take care. I appreciate it.
Give me somebody that's hungry. Give me somebody that's hungry. I need somebody.
And everybody.